What's up, fam? Welcome back to the Steep Stuff Podcast. I'm your host, James Lauriello, bringing you a short and sweet pre-Sunapee Scramble episode with none other than Rachel Tomajczyk, one of the most consistent athletes in our sport. I think she's made like every world's team that we've had. Yeah, I'm such a big fan of Rachel, and it was a super fun conversation. If you guys want to hear more about Rachel, double back to episode 101, where Rachel and I did a long-form interview a few weeks back. This is just a pre-Sunapee Scramble episode talking about some specifics of the race and her preparation to be able to do that double between Sunapee and then Broken Arrow a few weeks later, as well as just the stoke and excitement to go try and chase another bid to go represent Team USA on the Mountain Classic team. So without further ado, none other than Rachel Tomajczyk. Rachel, welcome back to the Steep Stuff Podcast. How you doing?
Thanks. Yeah, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. We just wrapped up our interview that's going to come out in a couple weeks, but this is a pre-Sunapee Scramble interview, kind of pre-Sunapee, kind of pre-Broken Arrow. So I'm going to ask some very specific questions for Sunapee, and yeah, we'll go from there. So cool. Thanks for coming back on. This is a great conversation. Yeah. And so I don't want to bury the lead too much. We're getting into the Sunapee Scramble coming up on June 1st. What's your excitement level for this race? Mountain Classic? And
yeah. I'm stoked. I'm really excited. I haven't done a mountain classic race in a bit. I've been doing a lot of the Golden Trail Series stuff, and they're a little bit longer races, but I did a half marathon in February, and I think that really helped because that's kind of like around the same time that you're running for some of these classic races. So focused on that in the winter, and I'm excited. I've run this course before, so yeah, I think it's a good course and it'll be really fun.
Yeah, you've had success at Sunapee before. You've had success in the Northeast in general. That's not necessarily an easy thing to do. I feel like it's actually a training specific question that I have for you, like with your coaching hat.
Yeah.
Training at altitude, I feel like we come down to altitude, right? Or come from altitude. We're obviously super fit. It's a lot. You feel like a superhuman, right? When you're racing at altitude. The only question I always have is like power generation, right? Because it's a lot easier to generate more power training at a sea level versus high up. Does that play into anything, or does that even matter for us? How does that work?
I think it does a little bit. I try to add in strength training into training. So I do a lot of squats and deadlifts that I think help build power. And then speed workouts where I'm running steep for short periods of time up things that maybe I wouldn't be running that speed for a sustained effort, but it's speed work. So I can kind of build that power. So sometimes I'll do training trips down to sea level, and that's helpful too. But I think also it depends on if you're kind of, your weak spot is your aerobic capacity and the breathing, or if it's your leg strength going up hills, because I think those are two different things. And I think that if your weakness is more your aerobic capacity, then maybe it helps to be up at altitude. But if it's legs, then maybe it helps you to be down at sea level a little bit more.
Ooh, I'd never thought about that. Breathing and aerobic capacity. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Good to know. Obviously, like you said, you've had success at a race like this before, or at Sunapee before. This course I think it's a little bit different. It's 2 loops this year, correct?
Yeah, it was last time as well. Last time it was the VK and the Classic qualifier for Worlds, and we did the VK one day, and then I think the next day did the Classic. But the Classic was still 2 loops, so I think it's the same course.
Is it gonna be the same? Okay. Techie stuff. Obviously, you're going to be getting ready for a race like that. It's funny because it's at a ski resort, right? So there is some components of ski hill, ski road, but obviously it looks like the downhill is nasty. I mean, obviously you've run on it. It's nasty and just doesn't look like fun footing.
Yeah.
Do you even throw in a couple sessions in your block to get ready for something like that? That's got nasty footing, or do you just hope for the best? How does that work?
It is hard. I think there are some pretty techie places that you can run out in Arizona. So that's nice, but they're different than East Coast. East Coast, I feel is a lot of roots and moss and things like that, especially on the ski slopes. You're on grass the whole time. And out West, we have a lot of rocks and just sharp things. So I think it's riskier to go down something really techie on the West Coast sometimes with all the pointy things that we have, but and cactuses and things. But I will try to get on some techier trails and stuff. East Coast trails are just wild. They're always techy. But I think at Sunapee there's really flowy sections. Like the uphill is not super techy at all, and then the downhill has like one really techy section, but then it's also on ski hills. So then they're just like really steep. And I think last time there was a lot of snow on it because we did it in April, and the snow hadn't melted because Worlds was a lot sooner. Worlds was in June last time, and now that it's later, they're doing the qualifiers later too. So I don't think there will be snow out there this time, but that definitely added some like difficulty level to it last time.
It was like sloppy because I remember some of it.
It was sloppy, muddy, snowy. Yeah.
Nasty conditions. I got to ask you this. So obviously someone of your level is a very complete athlete, right? Like you're good. You got to be good everywhere to go to Worlds and do things like that. Would you say I'm just so curious because like I've never stood in a start line with you and I haven't really analyzed too much of your racing. Or would you say you're more complete, a better climber or a better descender? Like what would you say is more your strength?
It's tough. I think I've gotten better at descents. I'm always like scared of them for some reason. And sometimes I can get in like a really good flow and like, I don't know, just like be really in tune with the downhill. And sometimes I just feel like so awkward and off, but I'm going to go a few days early just to like reacquaint myself with the downhill, so that I know what I'm doing and where I want to step and things like that. But yeah, I think my uphills have gotten better too as I've done more. I think my uphills at the beginning were good for like short amounts of time, but now I think I can handle a race where you go uphill and then you go down and then you're doing it all again. I think I wasn't as good at like doing an uphill and like then doing another one later on in the race. And I've gotten better endurance wise with that.
Yeah. It's almost like a tricky thing. It's funny. Like I'm very lucky I live in Manitou Springs, like right by the Manitou Incline. So like, I feel very lucky to be able to, a lot of my workouts, like I do like one hill workout a week. And the one I do is on the incline where I will get, because it's as steep as it could possibly get, right?
Yeah.
You go to a bailout and then immediately throw yourself off of it and try to get something where you're, up and down, up and down, up and down. Because I feel like so many race courses now more stimulate the more up and down, up and down, up and down versus just like one big up and one big down.
Yeah.
This is kind of like folding into a more of a training theory question. I've seen a lot of high level athletes do more up, down, up, down, up, down with like shorter climbs but like high intensity for hills rather than like big climbs. Is there something to that? Like, I don't know. I see more people do that now.
Yeah, I think it's kind of just building in that speed. It's kind of like doing interval work on a track, I think.
Yeah.
But just for hills. So I think it helps you build some of that power, like we were talking about earlier, if you're doing shorter stuff, and it makes it easier for you to sustain a little bit slower of a pace for a really long time. But I think there is a space definitely for doing those really long climbs, especially if you're training for races. Like if you're training for Pikes Peak or something, you need to be able to run up for a really long time. And maybe if you're training for something like Sunapee, you need to be good at being able to like do a really hard uphill and then do it again.
Yeah. That makes sense. I like it. It's all depending on the course, I guess.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So for you, what would this mean for you to make another Worlds team? Like, it's got to mean a ton. Like, this is it's such an honor, such a cool thing.
Yeah, it would mean a whole lot. Making any team for the U.S. and being able to qualify for that, I think is such a big honor, and it's such an honor to represent your country. And it would mean a lot. And I think that trail running in the U.S. is getting better and better. And I think there's a lot of women that could make this team. And I think Worlds is hard because I think that you could probably be in the top 20 people in the world and still not make the U.S. team. It's just hard to make that team. So it would mean a lot to be on it.
Without giving anything away, this is more in the training theory or more of the specific stuff that we kind of got into. But is there anything you learned from last time around at Sunapee and at Broken Arrow? And I think the interesting thing with you is that like you come from such a background of racing at such a high level consistently, right? There's a lot of things you can apply to another high level race like this that maybe some of your competitors might not be used to swimming with proverbial sharks, if you will, often. that experience like goes a long way. Is there anything you think you've learned from a lot of this that you can just apply to this race to where like it's just going to help you?
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Hi, buddy.
Ash wants to join the podcast. Yeah, I think. Sorry. So you're saying like basically what I've learned in the past.
What you can apply to like maybe core, even if it's course specific, because you've had great races at Sunapee, or just stuff you can apply from the past to, you know, for success on race day.
Yeah, I think just like the more often you race in the really these high level, high stake races, the more confident and like calm you can be going into it because you kind of know what to expect. So I think just having the right mindset going into it has helped. And then, also just knowing the course well has helped also. I don't live out there, so it's nice to be able to kind of know the course going into it because I'm not able to train on it.
Super cool. Well, Rachel, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on. This was a great conversation. Like I said, this is just a short and sweet little excerpt free. You know, I'm going to do a bunch of these pre-Sunapee with a bunch of
awesome.
all the ladies and men competing. So thank you so much. And appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
You too. Thanks. Listen up, guys. The Steep Stuff podcast is brought to you by Ultimate Direction USA. Guys, I am so excited. UD just dropped their new Race Vest 6-liter and Ultra Vest 12-liter in 2 beautiful aesthetic colors. You guys got to check these new vests out. They're dynamic in ways like that you just have never seen from an Ultimate Direction vest. Very stretchy, lots of storage, beautiful aesthetic colorways coming to you in a new, like a white and blue and an onyx and green. Just absolutely beautiful vests. I think these ones are just like some of the best products we've ever dropped, and I'm so excited for you guys to try them out. Hop on ultimatedirection.com and use code SteepStuffPod. Again, that's SteepStuffPod for 25% off your new vest. I mean, they're already affordably priced, but 25% off is just going to make it so much more affordable for folks in an already increasingly expensive trail running environment. So hop on ultimatedirection.com, get yourself a new vest, a pack, or any hydration solution, and let me know what you guys think.